We had the most people at our prospective parent night this fall than we ever had.
In every DPS school, there's a group that's helping define the priorities. A diverse collection of parents, community members, teachers, staff, and students committed to learning about their school and advising the principal on critical decisions that impact every student.
Before becoming a member, I had no idea of all the workings that the staff and administrators have to navigate.
Collaborative School Committees, or CSCs, are designed to increase family and community engagement. Also known as School Accountability Committees, these groups support academic achievement.
You get to contribute to the school climate, to the plans that the school has, and that is a unique experience.
It is family engagement, it's the Unified Improvement Plan, it is looking at the things that are relevant to the success of our school.
So what happens at a CSC meeting?
We start with food. They bring food for us. And then we do an icebreaker, a question.
Meetings can be anywhere from a half hour to an hour and a half, just kind of depending on what's on the agenda.
Adding a virtual option, I think, gives people at least the ability to listen in and hear the topics that are being discussed.
The goal is to get input on key topics, including the budget, school performance, family engagement, and the Unified Improvement Plan.
What we're going to do tonight is gather everyone's feedback on some crucial priorities. So we're looking at like class size, we're looking at culture, school safety, mental health.
But it's not just one person's opinion that matters. Having diverse voices is critical for a CSC.
So when I think about like diversity as a Black woman in this current climate, I think, I want to make sure that my Black kids are being held and safe and protected. And the only way to do that is to make sure they have a voice at the table. And if you walk into your CSC and there's not a voice that looks like you at the table, then you need to be that voice.
Y yo creo que es lo bueno de ser bilingüe, porque agarras a la comunidad hispana, latina, que tal vez ellos no pueden comunicarse con ellos.
Me being on this and working with some other staff members here, I think it just really helps to maintain like the true integrity and culture of our school.
Many CSCs also have community member representatives who are not parents at the school, bringing perspectives from the surrounding neighborhood.
I think it's really helpful to have someone in the room who's advocating for everyone.
In years past, we've had business owners on our committee and different perspectives. And I think it's just always good to have different voices and different lenses.
We have a formerly incarcerated parent who went through the system as a parent. So we really have a robust group of folks who are really active in the community, doing the work with our students outside of here.
And in high schools, students can serve on CSCs, giving them the opportunity to make a real difference.
I definitely feel like I have a lot of influence over my school's future, not only because of the decisions that I'm making as a co-chair and a voting member, but also from the information that I'm able to get and share with other classmates.
I see a lot of what works, what doesn't in the classroom, and I feel like voicing that is what makes an impact.
CSC members say it's been eye-opening to see how schools actually make tough decisions.
Just the level of insight it gives me into the school and understanding why things are happening. And being able then to communicate that to other people and help them understand.
Per pupil funding can be very complicated, and I wanted to understand where the school money was going and how they were spending it.
I understand the process now and where the ideas are coming from and how difficult it is for the principals to have to make those decisions.
Schools share important information with their CSCs, like budget and student data, so that CSC members can make impactful contributions.
A parent will bring up a question about a budget item that you're like, well, I never thought about that in that form, or in that, from that perspective.
There may be different opinions, but CSCs are about collaboration and respect.
One of the greatest things about CSCs is that they're designed around consensus. It's hearing that perspective and trying to find that place where everyone feels good about moving forward.
Yeah, we can all, have a conversation and come at it logically and still with our heart and our emotions, but it's a safe space to talk about what's best for our kids, and that's what we all want.
By joining your CSC, you can engage with your community, have your voice heard, and make a difference.
The rich
conversations, the disagreements, the respect, the data review, the ahas that came about from listening to one another.
And making sure that we are continuing to, live through our values, talk the talk and walk the walk.
It's really about making the environment accessible and equitable to all of the students and giving everyone an equal opportunity, to have a great education.